Russia?
Yeah, really sorry.
Good. Were you okay?
Really nice today. Oh, it's too busy.
I know,
I'm stressed out so much.
I know. Sorry.
Yeah,
Exhaustion.
Somebody in the hospital, somebody in the hospital, and I'm just like so
Okay.
You really want to be involved in your whatever.
Right.
So, I wanted to
You can throw it on here.
Of course.
So we will start with a meditation. We will do the chant. You all know the chant already. And after the chant, we will meditate with the mantra, Guru Rashananda. I will be playing the gong at different measured times.
The front door closed?
Eh?
The front door is open. Do you want it?
Oh God,
No,
don't
it's
say
not.
that. No,
Yeah,
it's
no,
fine.
it's
Somebody.
Yeah, there's one.
Well, we can leave it just in case
Oh,
someone
geez, there's the
comes.
cops out there. That's always nice.
Are they moving? They're,
It's after the car in front of it.
okay, good. I think my car's over there.
So, we will do the chant, then the meditation with the bowl. When you listen to the bowl, just let it be another object that appears in front of you, you know, like a thought or a cough or the sound of a car coming by. But it's an object that appears and disappears very little by little. So you can just sleep in the, you know, in the closing of the sound, and it can help you to get inside meditation. Also, the mantra can naturally combine with the sound of the gong. If it naturally combines, you just let it happen. You don't try to do it, but if it happens, you just let it happen. And after the meditation, I will make the summary of how to apply all these techniques that you've learned in your day-to-day life. And then we will do some questions, and then we can get a picture for memory. Okay, so let's start. Aim Krim Krim Chamandaye Vicheche. 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 Aim Shrim Krim Chamudaya Vichechen. 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 Aim Aim Shrim Krim Chamudaya Vicheche. 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 Aim Hrim Krim Chamudaya Aim Shem Krim Chamandaya Vicheche. 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 Aim Shem Krim Chamundaya 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 Vicheche. Aim Hrim Krim Chamundaya Vicheche. Bhurpuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenayam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Naha Prachodhayam Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Very slowly. And allowing at least 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, little by little, you get out from this meditation. Namaste.
What are those words that you say at the end?
Sorry?
Besides the Shanti Shanti, that's the only thing I get. Before
Uh-huh.
that, what are those words?
That's the Gayatri mantra, which, you know, if you want, I translate it. It's Om. Om, it could be translated by God, but, you know, it's a sound. It represents the energy of the primordial energy that, you know, like the first thing that was created in the universe was a sound, which very much applies to modern physics. And from this sound, which is that divine energy, everything came about. So you say Om, referring to that energy, Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha. So something you could be saying, you know, that energy fills my abdomen, that energy fills my heart, that energy fills my throat, which could be, you know, translated like God give me the strength and stability of my emotions, God give me the strength and fill my heart with love, and God give me truth in my speech, for example. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha. Tat Savitur Varenyam. Tat Savitur Varenyam is referred to Om. Tat Savitur Varenyam means from everything has come about. So it's from you, everything has come about. You know, Om, from that energy, everything came about. Bhargo means pure. Devasya Dhimahi. Deva means God. And we only meditate on you. So, you that are the most pure, Om, we only meditate in you. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Dhiyo Naha Prachodayat. Lead our intellect in the right direction. Om, again is that energy. Shanti means peace.
Nice.
So that's what it means.
Very nice. Wow.
It's a very old, it's called the Gayatri Mantra. If you put it in YouTube, you have hundreds of people singing it or chanting it or things like that. It's a very classic, traditional Hindu prayer or mantra, and the traditional prayer of the Vedanta, of the Vedantists, of the Hindu tradition. Any other question? No? Good. So, today basically what I'm going is to make a summary of the different techniques we have learned, how to apply them, how to use them, how to apply them in your day-to-day life. First of all, so we will put kind of, you know, the scheme of the day. So, well, the first thing, this is a discipline that you apply to your day-to-day life. And the secret of practicing this discipline is be regular with it for at least 8 weeks. If you are regular with it for 8 weeks, you will, it's like learning to ride a bicycle. You will never forget of how to meditate. Once you have been doing this meditation regularly for 8 weeks, you can apply for your individual techniques, which I will later tell you how you can do it, and I will give you places where you can get them. Okay. Now, techniques that we have learned. The chant. You remember, no? Aim, Krim, Krim. Now, obviously, this is a nice technique. For example, if you meditate together with a group of people, and it's very easy for people that have never meditated to get into meditation. You just need to, you know, have a kind of sportive spirit and, you know, do the exercise as an exercise. People get tired, but, you know, the mind gets quietened. And then once the mind is quietened, they can just put the attention in any object, like breathing, and, you know, they will have a nice meditation. So it's usable, you know, if you are at home and people ask you, oh, meditate, meditate, you want to try, you just need one of these to count, a mala, which is 108 counts, and you can buy them in any, in Amazon. You put in Amazon mala and you buy everything in Amazon these days. Mala, 108 count, 108 bit mala, and you have hundreds of them for $2, $3, $4. So easy. Now, another very good application of this technique is when you are feeling very bad with yourself. You might be depressed, you might be going through a stressful situation, you might be going through an anxiety situation, you might be feeling very confused. When the emotional turmoil is high and you cannot think straight, this is a very good technique. You just go to your house, you find a place, and you start doing rounds. You know, you do one round, stop, 1 minute or so with your attention in your breathing, leaving your breathing by itself. Then you do the next round, and then you do the next round, till it gets to a point that you do a round and you are feeling already very, very quietened. And then you just introduce the mantra, and that psychological or emotional state in which you were have completely disappeared. So that's a good technique also. If you want to try it, if you do 21 rounds, so we've done 3, no? So if you do 21 rounds, and you do it, you just flow with it and get going. 21 rounds. When you finish the 21st round, if I ask you your name, you need to think about it. Because you don't even remember what was your name. So it really facilitates that you discard all concept of self or thoughts. So it's a cleansing technique for the turmoil of the mind. That you use it when you need it. You know, that day that you are really feeling bad. Now, we have learned basically 3 concentration techniques. With your eyes, with seeing, and we have learned Tratak, that we practice with a candle. With hearing, we have learned mantra meditation, that we use the prep mantra Guru Rashananda. Now, use this prep mantra for at least 8 weeks. The ideal is that you get your individual mantra. The prep mantra is good to use it for a while. It's very appropriate to learn how to use a mantra, and this mantra is good for the purpose of getting your individual mantra, but it is important that you get your individual mantra. Your individual mantra, you can get it either here through the teachers that are around here in Merrill's group. Now those teachers, you can find them in the web, individual meditation.com. If you go to the menu to teachers, there you will have a few teachers that you can apply for your mantra. If I come, if everything goes well and I'm back next June, you can also get in touch with me and I will organize it. In any case, we'll be in touch through the classroom application, because for the next 8 weeks, every week, I will add things for you so that you remember to do your practices for 8 weeks. So you know, I will keep adding things every week for 8 weeks, maybe a video or a piece of text or a reminder or things like that. And obviously you can connect through that application with me or just by sending me an email. My email is roman@tifsu.org, right? Personal mantra or the individual mantra is very important because it is a sound, it is not a word, it doesn't have a meaning, but it is a sound that adjusts to what you require as sound within your meditation. This is a sophisticated technology in reality. It has to do with chakras, with Bija mantras, but you know, it's based on the concept that this universe of ours is all vibrations at different grades, which is true from the scientific point of view. Even Mass today is just a very dense vibration. You know, when in CERN, they discovered the Higgs boson. I don't know if you are scientific savvies, but you know about what is the Higgs boson? No? Well, anyhow, one of the questions about this world of ours is, how is it that mass is mass and energy is energy? Well, mass at the end is just vibration of things that suddenly get kind of entangled in what they are called bosons, and these bosons, you know, entangle the vibration in such a way that is like densifying the vibration and then creating mass. So even mass is vibration, in other words. So all the world is vibration, and the vibration of your mantra affects your chakras. The chakras are just the mind. You know, we tend to think about the brain. The brain is the organ through which we perceive the mind. The mind is not the brain, like I explained you in the class of the mind. The mind is the mind, and the brain perceives the mind. But the brain is not this box. The brain is the central nervous system. If you pick a neuron from your brain, and you just one, and you pull from it, you know, as all the neurons are interconnected, you will get a perfect body, you know, with hands, all the organs, all in nerve fibers. So, and it's all interconnected. So your mind is what the ancients called the subtle body. So the mind is not here, the mind is all around the place, and there are certain areas of the mind that are associated to different parts of the bodies. And they are also, by our own experience, associated with different things. For example, we feel fear in our stomach, no? Or anxiety, and we feel love in our heart, and so on and so forth. So there are different centers where, you know, where the mind is, you know, have these different centers, for example, sex, pleasure, etc., etc., and those are called the chakras. And the chakras are very receptive to different kind of vibrations. And the personal mantra will act particularly normally in your chakras, balancing them out. So it's important that you get your personal mantra. In any case, that's why I wanted to tell you. You can also continue with these techniques all your life, and they will do its job. But if you get the personal mantra, you get kind of the whole package of what you need to, as techniques, as meditation techniques, right? So, so we've learned the mantra meditation, we've learned the Tratak meditation, and we've learned with touch, you know, with breathing. Now these techniques, concentration techniques, we are going to put them one in the morning, ideally Tratak, but you can do mantra in the morning and Tratak in the evening, and one in the evening, which ideally will be mantra. Tratak is a technique more that focuses your mind. You know, Tratak and mantra is a little bit like a pen, where you have the ink and the how do you say, the ballpoint? The point. The Tratak is the point, and the mantra is the ink. With the mantra, it's like extracting energy from inside, like a well. From the mantra, you extract from within. You go deep within yourself and you extract energy. And with the Tratak, you apply that energy to your everyday life. So you need both. Like you cannot write with a pen without a point or without the ink. You need both. So it's very important that you balance Tratak and mantra, 50%, 50%. If by any chance you only do a meditation every day, then you alter them. One day you do Tratak, one day you do mantra. One day you do Tratak, one day you do mantra. If you only do a meditation every day, preferably do the morning meditation. But ideally do 2 meditations. You only need 20 minutes. From the minute you sit down to the minute you stand up, it's only 20 minutes. You can do it up to 30 minutes, more is too much. 20 minutes is very easy. You just need to find 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening. It will make a big change. Because the techniques, the meditation techniques, will give you the energy and the one-pointedness of the mind so that you are really able to apply yourself to the day you have to live, which is the final goal. In other words, the techniques are like, how do you call, are like the, you know, when you get, imagine you get stuck in your feet with, say, of the roses, how do you call?
Thorn.
A thorn. So the techniques are the thorn, which you take another thorn and throw them both. The thorn you take away is the suffering, so it's not a goal in itself to become a meditator, it's just a means. But you know, it's a thorn that you need to use to take the other thorn out, you know, it's just an analogy. So, the ideal is you do your Tratak and you do your mantra in the evenings. The breathing technique, you can do it on top of these two at any moment. But it's also a very practical technique, you know, when you are walking or when you are sitting in some place or when you are, you know, just with someone having dinner. If you keep a slight awareness that you are breathing, you keep your attention much more firmly in where you are, and although you are using part of your attention to keep yourself aware of your breathing, you will see that you understand better the other person, because your mind is wandering less, stops wandering, particularly if you keep your regularity in meditation. Okay, we have also learned open presence techniques. If you remember, we had concentration techniques and then open presence techniques. We have learned the good morning day. I mean, open presence, it is by its own word, it's defined. You know, open presence means be present where you are. And we have learned this technique that we are going to practice to begin with, which is the good morning day, which is when you wake up, try to be present exactly where you are. Don't let yourself be carried away by the because me, because me, because me, because my life, because this, because I want this, because I want that. So don't let carried away by that, and just put your attention in a day is going to start, it's just one day, only 16 hours, in 16 hours, that I that has woke up is gonna die and never gonna wake up again. So, take it easy, it's just one day, and say good morning to the day you have to live. And try to be totally present, which the best and more efficient way to do that is being the presence of God, as within your own idiosyncrasy can do that. Think in front of God, brush your teeth in front of God, dress in front of God, and then, you know, particularly think in front of God. Don't let yourself be carried away by inner conversations. Right? So that's the open presence technique. Are you okay? So we've learned that, which is a good morning day, which is you don't need to use extra time for this because this is just a matter of a change of attitude. Instead of waking up saying, oh shit, another day. And I have this problem and this other problem. Instead of waking up, you know, with the left foot, learn to wake up with the right foot by being present and by taking importance to this mechanism that, you know, we project in the screen of our minds and we believe as ourselves not only to be this, but we believe that that has some existence. That idea or conceptualized I that we have about ourselves has no existence in reality, only maybe for your perception, but definitely not for my perception or any other's perceptions that is not you yourself. Your only reality for others is your actions. So don't get yourself wrong. Your reality, you express your reality with respect to others in your actions, not with all this pity in your mind. So take importance away from this, because we, without even thinking about it, we think that this is the important thing. And there is nothing happening there. The only thing that can happen in your life depends on the day you have to live. And that's the only place where through your actions you can do something for yourself or for the people you love. And what you need to do during that day is don't use your thoughts to judge or criticize or complain or lie or exaggerate or manipulate or project yourself as what you are not. You know, try to use your thoughts to discern between real and unreal in the ultimate case, but in any case, learn to discard all your thoughts that are not wise, which is 99.99% of them in every human being. So it's not only you, don't worry about that one. So, that's the open presence technique that we have learned and that we apply in the morning. Then we have, you know, our actions, our thoughts, and our feelings. These are the three areas, which are the three yogas: Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. These are the three areas where, you know, you need to put your 10% of self-help. You know, in this recipe of the meditation techniques and spiritual practices, we could very easily say that 30% of everything that is needed is, you know, provided by the meditation techniques. The meditation techniques is like having the engine of your car clean, ready, and, you know, on spot. Or, you know, like when these drivers that compete, you know, they have the car just, I don't know the word in English. Tuned, exactly, perfectly tuned. So the meditation techniques tune the engine of the mind, which is the instrument that you use to experience life. So that's 30% of the recipe. 10% of the recipe is the personal effort that you are going to put, and that is your part in all this, because the techniques, you have to do the personal effort to sit down and do them. but the techniques produce their effects by their own. Then you have your 10% of personal effort that you are going to put every day in your actions, in your thoughts and your feelings. And the 60%, the rest, 60%, is just given away, it's grace. I mean, it simply happens. That is when love happens, which is a happening. And then it happens, and you don't know why it has happened, but suddenly you can feel it. And that is the 60% of the recipe. But you need all the parts. So the 10% of the self-help part of the equation, you know, is a necessary, not sufficient, like in mathematics, necessary but not sufficient. I.e., without it, you don't have it, you need it, but it's not enough. So you need the personal effort in self-help, you need, it is necessary but not sufficient, the meditation techniques, and the rest, which is grace, it happens by itself. So in reality, you only have to put a 10%. And the 10% is in getting the discipline of sitting to meditate before you start your day in the mornings, and meditate when you end your day, and then your attention in your actions, in your thoughts, and in your feelings day by day. And if you remember well, it is very simple. With respect to actions, it is limited to this. Forget about the result. Learn or train your mind to become oblivious of the result the mind is seeking out of the action it is performing. In other words, we will tend to be peeling potatoes and our mind is in having the potatoes peeled. Train your mind to, if it is peeling potatoes, peel potatoes. Breathe, you know, put your attention in your breathing. You could also introduce your mantra. Bring the attention to the action you are performing and just perform the action. And you will be smelling the potato, and it may bring you in your mind ideas of, you know, the smell of the earth, and it may bring in your mind how, you know, the potato has been, you know, extracting minerals and things like that of the earth and growing. It's a root, you know, and you just peel potatoes. And so on and so forth with every action. If on top of that you put a little bit of devotion, which means you make any action you perform like an offering to God, that's the best thing you can do with actions. And if you act like that, you will get naturally the best results. But also you will become oblivious of the results, which means you will become much more free. Because once you are not conditioned by the result you are seeking, and you learn and train your mind to concentrate in the action it's performing, then the action you are performing is more than enough for you. And you stop depending on results. And when you stop depending on results, you will find out that anxiety little by little disappears until it disappears completely. Because, you know, the results, you know, you just act, and then the results come alone. So you don't need to worry about them. They come when they come, and when they come, you welcome them. Being either if they are a critic or a praise, remember equanimity. So, actions, that is the secret. How do you train your mind to perform action like this? Well, that is something that you have to do onto yourself. There are many ways. You can, you know, use one of these apps that have a timer, and put the timer to ring a bell every hour, and whatever it, you know, if you are making coffee and you hear the bell, well, you make coffee in this mode, and then you can put it every half an hour until you train the mind. It's not difficult. It takes, I don't know, maybe 3-4 weeks if you are determined. And it's not difficult because once the mind realizes that gets more satisfaction of the action that from seeking the result of the action, as the mind gets habituated to whatever produces satisfaction in her, it's not too difficult because the mind little by little or soon realizes that, oh, I feel better acting like this. And once the mind starts feeling better acting like this, naturally, you know, and at the beginning you have kind of to force it onto yourself, you know, to discipline onto yourself. But if you start doing it and you keep on doing it, you will eventually find that naturally you start acting like that. That naturally you start peeling potatoes and you are not thinking in having the potatoes peeled, you are enjoying the act of peeling potatoes. And you start thinking about how the potato got everything, and at the end you start becoming, the peeling of the potatoes starts becoming an offering to God, because you know it's a product of God also, and you know, and you start flowing with that, and the mind learns to do that, and you start flowing with your actions. If you learn to flow, that's probably one of the most important techniques for us householders, karma yoga, because if you learn to flow in your actions, a householder has so many actions to perform every day that you know he is busy meditating all day once he has learned to perform action in this way. So actions, that's the essence of action. Become oblivious of the result, use an object, could be breathing, could be the mantra, or could be the action itself, if it is enough, but you can support the action with another object, and just keep bringing your attention back to the object and the action you are performing, as when we do the chant, just in the same exact way. You just bring the attention back, and the action little by little becomes spontaneous, because you will realize that the hands know how to peel potatoes. So you just flow with it, you don't perceive an effort. You perceive an effort when you are looking for the result, because it's like you are putting energy to get the result, thinking that when you get the result you will get the reward, but then when you get the result there is no reward because you are seeking for another result, and so on and so forth. So that's the secret of actions. Thought. Yeah.
I don't know if I misunderstood you. Like the example you gave of like peeling the potatoes. Did you say your mantra? You can say your mantra while you're doing it, or
yeah. For example, you are peeling potatoes, you know, and say your mind is constantly interrupting you. I want to have the potatoes peeled. Well, you can just put your mind to say the mantra, or you put your attention in the breathing and go back to the peeling of potatoes. I mean, so you do it as you feel fit, in other words, was what I was trying to say. At the end of the day, what you want is train your mind to, when it's acting, be oblivious of the result and be totally focused on the action it is performing. Obviously, the techniques, the meditation techniques, cooperate into this, because Tratak will generate the ability to focus effortlessly, so then it will be easier and easier as you do Tratak to focus in the action you are performing. Mantra gives you energy, gives you the energy from within, so you will have extra energy to deal with all these things. And this is a system that is perfectly balanced, that works very well, and the proof of the pudding is drying. So you practice it 8 weeks, and I can sign you, it will transform your lives. Not because your circumstances change, but because your perspective of your circumstances will change.
I found myself smiling as I was washing the dishes because the thought came in my mind. I thought, oh, this is crazy.
Exactly. Okay, so thoughts. Thoughts, two main things. The most important two things. Don't let yourself be carried away by negative thoughts. We are so easily get attached to our negative thinking. My life is shit. And then you start believing it strongly, and then you will, continue there, and we don't want to leave it because it kind of gives us something it's food for our little eye. So it's very important that instead of trying to balance your life, simply try to balance your day. If you balance your day, you will not be creating further imbalances. Whatever imbalances you bring from previous days, look, they will come and they will manifest day by day. And as they manifest, you will take care of them. But what you can do is do not create more imbalances. So you want to balance negative thought with positive thoughts. That's the essence. I already explained you in the class basically the different ways to do this. But making a summary, whatever you are thinking negatively about something, for sure you can find the positive side. Sometimes we are so attached to this negative opinion we might have about something that we are unable to see a positive side of that negative opinion we have. Options, Options is inquire. Inquire your negative opinion. Is that true? Inquire if your thought is true. No? Second option, think about something else. Third option, introduce your mantra. So if you've been thinking 20 seconds negatively about something and you cannot think positively about that very same thing for 25 seconds, repeat the mantra. Or start singing mentally a love song or something that uplifts you. Simply balance it. Just balance it. If you say a bad word to your friend or your husband or your whatever or your son, before the end of the day, don't leave it for tomorrow. Before the end of the day, say 2 good words to that person. Just balance the day, and that's it. Don't say, oh, I'll sort it out tomorrow with him. No. Before tomorrow, you will not be alive. The little eye that woke up cannot do it tomorrow because it's going to die tonight. So you do it today, and you balance it out. So that is one of the main things. And second, so balance positive and negative. Second, when a thought that you believe to be true produces you stress, I will put you an example. I need a couple to be happy. This is a typical thought many people might have. I need a couple to be happy. Without a couple, I will never be happy. And you believe this, and because you don't have a couple, you start getting stressed and unhappy and depressed. You know how life is. Then you have a couple and the story changes. Until I get divorced, I will not be happy. But that's how we are. So when you have a thought in your mind that is making you feel contracted, stressed, unhappy, depressed, take that thought and ask yourself, is this that I am believing true? Just ask yourself and put that thought in front of the mirror of God and say, is this true? There are many ways to deal with this inquiry. But there is one I like a lot and that works very well, and I will advise you, if you don't know it, it is called The Work, and the author is Byron Katie. This is a technique that helps, you know, to inquire in the thoughts you believe. But the technique is, when you have a thought, like in the example I put you, you know, my boyfriend doesn't love me. When you have a thought that is generating you some sort of stress or distress or anger or fear, something that contracts you, and it's there in a continuous form, and it's hurting you, you know, don't let that thought linger one day and another day and another day. The day it appears, ask yourself, is this true? If you are strong enough with the meditation techniques, if you are honest enough and you ask this in front of the mirror of God, you will be able to say, no, it's not true. Because Jnana Yoga is also called, you know, the yoga with thoughts. It's also called the neti-neti yoga. Neti-neti means not this, not this. Which means whatever thought you think to be true is not true. So you can always say, is this true? For example, E equals mc squared. That's a thought from Einstein. Is this true? No. You know, just wait 300 or 400 years. Someone will come and say, no, no, it's not exactly E equals mc squared. So, no thought will give you the truth. There are grades of truth. But if a thought is producing you a negative emotion, it's kind of, the negative emotion is the alarm. Your mind has to tell you, look, you are believing something which is either false or it's going to hurt you. So when you have this kind of emotions, look immediately to the thought that is producing that emotion and inquire and ask yourself, what I am believing is true? I need to have a couple to be happy. Is that true? I mean, is really true? I do really need a couple to be happy? Isn't it all the way around that I need to be happy to have a couple? And just inquire, no? Yes.
In that example, so I hear what you're saying. Let's just say a person says, I need a partner to be happy. But that's not true. I don't need a partner. But what if it's true that that person wants a partner? Do you see the difference?
Yeah, but if you want something, it's different, you know, I mean, one thing is believing something, you know, if, say, for example, I want a Rolls Royce. I do want a Rolls Royce. I like Rolls Royces. But am I, without a Rolls Royce, I will never be happy? No. That's not a want is not a belief. It's a want that you can, you know, have. I can recognize my wants, but if I believe that unless I satisfy my wants, I will be happy, then it is a belief. Because I can have as many wants as I want and be happy with all of them and without any of them, you know. Both things are true. So, you know, a thought creates you problems when you believe it to be true. So, I need a partner to be happy creates you problems when you believe that is true. If you just want to have a partner, well, it's a want, but there is no belief behind. Unless there is a belief, unless I get what I want, I am not happy. But that's another kind of belief that is also untrue. So, the essence of negative emotions is look at the thought that is producing Because emotions, remember, is love perverted by the mind. And if the emotion is negative, is badly perverted by the mind. Because if the emotion is positive, well, it's perverted also, but not, it's not hurtful. But when it is perverted and it's hurtful, you really need to look at the thoughts that are making you feel that way. And I tell you, if you look at them straight in the mirror, you will find they are untrue. And when you realize they are untrue, the emotion disappears immediately. In that very moment, disappears. I think I told you the example of the serpent, that you have a serpent near your foot or a viper near your foot. Did I tell this example? No, maybe to the evening people know. Well, to the evening people, this is, I'm not always say the same things in the mornings and in the afternoons, but you have them recorded. So if you've come in the mornings, you can complement with the afternoons and the other way around. So for example, imagine I tell you, Galina, there's a viper by your foot, and you look and you see this viper doing like that. What would be the emotion you would feel?
Scared?
Fear. Fear, yeah, I mean, if I see a viper, fear. With the mouth open. And then I say, don't move, don't move, don't move, and I go and I look like this, and I take the viper, and I take it like, and it's plastic, and I say, it's plastic. What happens with the fear?
Is that fear?
Immediately. So, the emotion disappears when your mind realizes that the thought that produced the emotion is false. So, as long as your mind believes that without a partner I cannot be happy, you will feel depressed. And you will stop feeling depressed when the mind stops believing that that is true. And the mind will stop believing that that is true when you inquire, using your logos, or using techniques like the ones proposed by Byron Katie, to simply see that the thought is false. What do you mean that I need a partner to be happy? Is it not the other way around, that I need to be happy to have a partner? And if I need a partner to be happy, what means this? That my happiness depends on someone else? So is that happiness or is that dependence? So you just have to argument it yourself, like if you were in a debate, you are believing something, so debate it to yourself. Why are you believing this? What is the sense for you to believe this? And what is going to help you believing this? And really, is this true? And if you ask with honesty, you will realize, oh, it's false. And in the moment you realize it's false, the emotion disappears. So with thoughts, the main thing, balance positive and negative thoughts. Don't let yourself be carried away by the negative thoughts. Balance it on the day. And if thoughts produce you negative emotions, painful emotions, inquire. Never learn to consider thoughts as thoughts, not as reality. We tend to experience our own thoughts as reality. And we think that what we think is real, but what we think are thoughts. And in reality, of reality, we know very little. But what we think are thoughts, so treat thoughts as thoughts, not as reality. And thoughts are thoughts, and they change from one day to another. Today you might be thinking this about that, and we all have this experience, and tomorrow you will be thinking something else about the same thing. So, which of the two thoughts were real? None. In reality, none. Thoughts are thoughts, and reality is reality. Feelings. There's no recipes for the heart. There's no recipes for love. But devotional chanting, kirtans, soul, gospel, singing in the shower, singing love songs. Those are good for the heart. And service, service to others, without your left hand knowing what your right hand does. Try to introduce something every day of service, without your left hand knowing what your right hand does. Just to get used. And try to get not only used, but realize that your life and all your actions you perform are there so that life continues. There is nothing for you. That's very important to realize. There is the only thing that is for you is a hole, 8 feet by 4 feet. Remember, that is warranted. That is for you. The rest is just you live one day after the other. And you give yourself so that life continues. And you know this is real for an orange tree that produces oranges but not to eat them, or a cow that produces milk, or a dancer that dances, or a teacher that teaches, or you name it. All what you do is for the benefit of others. Either you realize it or not. So it's better to realize it, realize that there is nothing for you, and then you will feel more free to give yourself off completely. And that's the secret. Once you give yourself off completely and you lose the sense of being an eye that has to be protected because there is something for him, then when this happens, you know, life becomes more happier, more peaceful, more integrated, more enjoyable, more beautiful, also in a natural way, without, you know, applying to yourself to any moral standards. Just be pure, purely yourself, and live your day purely. And this is basically questions.
I had a thought. What if it's true?
What?
What you're thinking? Something negative.
Put me an example.
Well, my sick husband. He's never going to be the way he was.
Mm-hmm.
His dementia is making him not here
Yeah.
anymore. It's a long
Right.
goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
So and the only way I get out of that depressing mood is to play music and to
Right.
cheer myself up.
Yeah, but for example, what is your thought? Your thought that makes you depressed, what
It's
is
a
the
sad
thought?
thought, like, oh.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, but
oh, I can't
you
do
know-
this anymore, I can't do that with
Right.
him anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You cannot do that with him anymore, but you have to consider, you know, it's like, you know, everybody dies, everybody, you know, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time, and your muscles will start to operate badly, and you will start seeing less, and your digestion will start
It's very
being
depressing, yes.
worse, and you will start speaking less fluidly, and eventually to the whole. So the problem is thinking, oh, that is depressing.
Yeah.
Why? Why should it be
Worrying
depressing?
about it.
Yeah,
was-
why should it be depressing? You know, can you imagine? You all know by experience how hard is living, right? So can you imagine they say, oh no, you have 500 years of this
Oh,
ongoing,
oh my gosh.
and I don't know if you will die because we have taken death out of the recipe. That would be a total, how do you say, curse.
Yes. Yes.
So, you know, what is the belief that is making you feel bad? The idea that this should not happen. What do you mean it should not happen? you know, and you really know what your ex-husband is learning through his experience. He's having an experience, and there is consciousness there, and that consciousness is operating through a, you know, a brain that is not working, but it has not, it is consciousness.
Right.
And the brain works, you know, but you know, like your consciousness is operating through your body, even if your body cannot walk now because you are too old and you cannot walk, but your consciousness is there. So the body will, you know, naturally become worse and worse and worse and worse till it is worse enough to be thrown to the hole. But you know, what's the problem with that? That's the experience of life. You wake up in the morning, you go to sleep at night, you are born and you die.
Good.
But that's no problem, that's life. You know, the problem is thinking that that is a problem. Not that. That is life.
Right. That's good.
More questions?
Can you explain what grace is? I think it's sort of a religious term, but
Grace, Shakti, you know, that is something that is unexplainable if you want, you know, but you can relate to it through experience. This subtle energy that you might feel that, you know, for example, with someone very loving that is with you, for example, and you feel a subtle thing there that makes everything go right. Probably we all have some experience of that, you know. You are in this loving attitude with, say, this person, and he's in a loving attitude with you, and then you go to this restaurant and exactly you find the place that this and everything kind of fits together, and you say, oh, how gracious. Everything fits together graciously. Well, that's grace. In its manifestation, you can say it, but what is in the sense of describe it is undefinable, no? But it's an energy, it's, you know, the energy of love expressing itself. Grace, Shakti, they call it in the Eastern world. Grace, Shakti, the Holy Spirit, you know, it's another term used for that subtle energy. And you know, I don't know the New Agers what they might call this, but for sure they have a name for it. You know, it's a common experience of human beings. You know, that subtle energy that makes everything fit into place, that allows you to flow naturally and spontaneously in a situation, in a given situation.
thank you.
More questions?
Choice. A
Choice.
lot of rumination is, should I do this? Should I do this? Do we have free will, or is it?
Choice,
No.
yeah, exactly. Choice is a good question. You know, there is the choiceless choice.
Yeah.
But choice, I mean, how, you know, how independent are we to choose? You know, I can give you my own experience. You know, if my system knows what to choose, it knows what to choose, and then I choose it. And if my system doesn't know what to choose, I flip a coin. And do what the coin says. And don't waste a single second.
What did you say?
Should I do this? Should I do that? I just flip the coin, this. That's it.
That's it, make a decision.
Forget about it. So, because the decision, what is going to decide within you? It's going to, the patterns are going to decide. You know, it might be the pattern of fear, or the pattern of this, or the pattern of that, but it's going to be patterns that are going to make the decision. When two patterns are in conflict, and you really don't know, you know what to do, flip a coin, I divorce. And you have to follow it through, eh? I do that, eh? I just follow it through.
Brexit, you flip again.
Eh?
3 times.
But you know, when you have, you know, choices of magnitude, which are very few in life, you know, it's like, shall I marry or not? Shall I divorce or not? Shall I leave this job or not? So choices of magnitude in your life, you only have a few, you know, the big choices. So if in front of a big choice you have doubts, do your prayer. Ask the divine, show me the way. And if you do it honestly, he'll show you.
You spoke about getting videos and websites, is that online? Ah,
right.
see?
Yeah. Now, I can put this up, no?
Can you spell that author's name, please? Byron?
Keating,
Byron?
Keating,
Yeah.
right? K-E-A? Is it Keating? I'm thinking like, oh.
It is just like that, Katie,
Katie.
And then you book us
Come
the
on,
work.
come on,
And, ¿cómo se llama el libro de Byron? Loving What Is. The book you want to read is Loving What Is.
That sounds like that other monk, can never say his name,
Thich Nhat Hanh. Yeah, it happens for me the same.
when he says, wherever you are, that's where you are. That, you know, that's type of thing, loving what is.
Yeah, this is a very good book, very practical also. So I advise you to read it. Now, I put this off now. And videos, other books, other literature, which is interesting. I will give you what I think that are fundamental books that, you know, it's good to read. Okay, teachings of my spiritual mentor, you have them in the website, like the mantra, GuruRajananda.com. Here you have it's bilingual Spanish-English, you have poems, you have videos, you have long articles, short articles, lots of information. Now, videos both of me, of other teachers, of like Thomas Keating, Thich Nhat Hanh, lots of videos of my guru, so videos, a lot of videos in YouTube, in our channel, which is youtube.com/GuruRajananda. A book, an author, which is good to read. It's a little bit philosophically, you know, it's like very intellectual, but it's very high quality and explains things very well. The author is Vivekananda. Any book from him will be a good book. But there are 3-4 books, one dedicated to meditation techniques, another dedicated to actions, another dedicated to thoughts, and another one dedicated to feelings, to devotion, which are the yogas. Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. So these are the titles, this is the author, but any other book from Vivekananda is also good.
What's that first one? Because I know you, the other ones you taught us, action, feelings, the yoga.
The Raja.
Raja is the meditation techniques by themselves. Pranayama, mantra, trata. So, Vivekananda, of the university academic world, the author is Jon Kabat-Zinn. And the book is, the name in English, I don't know the name in English, but it's something like how to, pon ahí, Jon Kabat-Zinn Crisis.
Sí, vivir las crisis plenamente.
Sí, pero ponlo pon Jon Kabat-Zinn Crisis.
Oh, funny.
Something like living fully your crisis, or living your crisis fully. ¿Lo has encontrado?
Bueno, el día siguiente que te lo digo ahora.
He has a lot of stuff. He has CDs, videos.
Oh, really?
Who's John's in?
Yeah.
Crisis. Jon Kabat-Zinn.
Vivir con plenitud las crisis.
English.
Full catastrophe living.
Full catastrophe living. Yeah, exactly. That's the title. Full catastrophe living.
Using the wisdom of your body and mind to
Yeah, that's the
face
one.
stress. Pain,
This is very academic, very technical, very scientific, but has very good things in it, and it gives you the overview of what the scientific world is understanding and how they are using these techniques, and you will relate when you read this author with everything you've learned here. I need to go to the restroom.
That's interesting.
Are we gonna go much
He has an institute that he started about mindfulness meditation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, up in,
Oh, this Jon Kabat.
yeah, up in Massachusetts. I think it's in Boston.
Oh,
It's a big thing, yeah. And from that, he has people working in different centers teaching mindful
Did
meditation.
you guys go to the White Plains thing?
You do, don't you?
I went to the White Plains.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been to the White Plains.
Yeah. Is it similar to this, or?
Yeah, it's a lot different. You've been to White Plains.
You do Wednesday or
Wednesday.
Saturday? White Plains.
Continue,
Wednesday
like,
night and then Saturday afternoon.
It's not a class, it's just you meditate.
Yeah.
You do the chants and the meditation.
The same chant that we're learning here? Oh.
And then usually this fellow Merrill Hamill, he's kind of like Ramon. They know each other from the meditation things. He'll ask you questions of people who go around the room and answer them and how they feel. But it's very informative.
The
It's a very close
library
group.
has
Yeah,
a
it's nice
Friday,
people.
Nice. When did you go?
Friday
You go Wednesday or
meditation thing.
Saturday?
I asked
It
my
all
friend, I said,
depends
"What did-"
sometimes,
No, we
yeah.
sit there for an hour and we meditate. Oh, gee, gotta need a little more.
Is there like the energy of having other people, like you do it yourself, but is there like...
Well, if you do it
positive
with
or
more
negative?
people, it's nice, particularly if you do the chant, because as you are breathing at the same time, during a period of long enough time, every round is 5 minutes. So if you do one round only, it's 5 minutes all breathing at the same time. And that generates a an integration of energies, a subtle integration of energies, and then you know the people that meditate more deep pull you also to that depth. So it's good to meditate with other people even from time to time.
I think especially if you lose your impetus to
Right.
continue, when you start falling behind.
So to finish today, we are finished, we don't have more questions. To finish today, we have to say, cógenos a todos, let us have.
What are we doing?
He's gonna take a picture.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you wanna do this?
No, now Benito will take care.
How do you feel? Has
I
she
put
been-
myself here,
Have
Okay.
you been feeling
and we
better?
will say to...
una foto.
No, una foto no, que nos decía adiós a todo el mundo.
I was going to my
And then you
friend's
jump
house
in
and
Sedona.
we were gonna go to Sedona, but we decided just to postpone and do something else.
So this is just
This is the graduation.
so that we are, all, we have a memory of all of us.
And can we call you Collect in Spain?
Important.
You took it already? I don't know what I
And
said.
my email, if anybody needs to contact me,
I think you just gave it.
I think you gave it to
Yeah,
us,
you
huh?
gave it.
just in case, I write it here so that any doubt, any problem, anything that you think you want to, ask me or whatever, please feel free. I'm happy to answer. And although I might be in Spain, we can speak, through video conference or Skype or hundreds of ways. That is free.
Very, very nice,
If you have
very, very nice.
internet.
And you think this will start up in Osling, huh?
Yes, I mean the plans are those. Those are the plans
That would
to.
be nice, and then let us know about that.
Yeah.
How can
Yeah, I will let you know. But the idea is that by next September we could be full speed here.
Nice, very nice.
And you're looking right in this Westchester area?
Yeah, we already have located a place,
In Osling?
so we have that in
In Oslo.
Radcliffe, Maine.
Oh,
Bartlett
Bartlett,
Manor,
nice,
right.
very nice.
Right.
Oh, how
So-
convenient.
Yeah, that's fun.
Minutes from my house.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, you got it? We'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Is it
think
just
so.
meditation or is the whole?
No, it will be meditation and spiritual practices, which includes, this is the preparatory course, but we teach many other techniques, and we train teachers, we train school teachers, we will be also working with schools, as we have a program for prisons, and here we have Sing Sing, so
Yeah, there you
So
go.
we
when,
will offer that program to Sing Sing.
September.
when do you think you'll be open? I mean,
Uh,
realistically.
if everything goes well, we will start doing things end of June and fully open and operative September.
This coming September.
Wow.
Nice.
So are you gonna send us emails, cause you have our
Yeah,
email
I
addresses. You have our
I will be in
addresses.
touch with you through Classroom also.
Okay.
I will be putting during the next 8 weeks, every week I will be putting material, reminders, this, that, the other.
And you get that by going to
Yes.
Google Classroom, do
Ah,
the individual,
right.
that, oh, you
To
want
get to your classroom,
Yeah, I always,
to get to Classroom, the classroom where you have those that signed out for the classroom thing, to get to Classroom, you just need to put where the URL is, you just need to put, where is something that right
For individual meditation.
here, class,
in the, okay. This is good.
you just put where you put the URL at the top of the browser, you just put classroom.google.com.
Oh, that's easy enough. Very good.
And then immediately you put that, your class will appear there. You just
Very nice.
go into the class and that's it.
No
Los vídeos, lo de individual meditation que están.
Yeah, and in individual meditation, in past broadcast, all the videos are there, but in Classroom, all the videos are there
Oh,
also in
nice.
Classroom.
Okay.
So you have everything in both places.
But not Brian's song. Right.
Yeah, even the bright light of bright, also that. Everything that I've put as videos from Tigna, it's all there in Classroom. So if you get into Classroom, everything you have seen here is there. Plus a little bit more that I will be adding of information in text and
Oh,
things
that's
like
great.
that.
Thank you.
Okay, so has been very nice to have you as students and hope to see you soon. Namaste.
Namaste,
Yeah,
right.
namaste.
Learned so much.
If you go into this website here, individual